Hello everybody, welcome back to Cure for the Common Game. Today, we're going to talk about the Wonder Twins. Rowan and Will Kenrith. The Wonder Twins comment is, I'm showing my age there, there was an old cartoon, The Super Friends, from like back in the 80s. Anyway, go look it up. It's, I don't know, ever since I saw Will and Rowan, I've called them the Wonder Twins, even though they kind of look like Lannisters. But anyway, before we get into it, deck number 420, wow. I want to give a shout out to one of my patrons, Mr. Chris Manus. Thank you very much, Chris. Couldn't do it without all of y'all. And if you would like to join, become a patron, you can go over to Patreon/Cure for the Common Game and check it out. But anyway, we have Will and Rowan Kenrith. And as soon as I saw these in Battle Bond, of course, I was like, the Wonder Twins. Evidently, now, having a spark is, what did they say? It's one in a million, one in a billion, something like that. And evidently, we found out from Ugin and Bolas and Will and Rowan that it's biological because twins have sparks. If one has it, the other one has it. So that's what I gather. The Planeswalker spark is actually biological. I don't know. Kind of neat. Yes, no, maybe. I don't know. But where I wanted to go with this is their abilities are so radically different. You would in order to play to their strengths, you would almost have to build, two halves that would, because she's all about abilities and he's all about spells, and I'm sure there's a way to, successfully thread that together. But my mind went somewhere else. We've got the first ever Planeswalker partner commanders. I mean, that's really kind of rare. They're the only set. So, I said, you know what? And I just in instinct called them the Wonder Twins. So I said, you know what? That's probably the route I'll go with them. So before we get into it, let's look at our mana, because let's face it, both of our commanders here cost 6 mana. And the rest of our deck ain't real cheap either. So we're in blue-red, so we're in Izzet. So I'm running all the Izzet rocks, the Locket, Cluestone, Keyrune, Signet, Soul Ring. I'm running a Sky Diamond, not running the Red Diamond, because the Fire one, because I'm out, I'll be honest with you. So in lieu of that, I'm running the Manalith. I know it's not quite as good, but because it's one more mana. But, now, Victory Chimes we're going to give a try because it untaps. This is a thing that I might. This will come in handy later on in later iterations of the deck as I get upgrades for it when I'm able to do a bunch of stuff on everybody else's turn. But for the now, Mana Guides are just a good red ritual. Y'all know that. And then, of course, Mox Amber. Now, I know Mox Amber does not help us cast our commanders because we have to have, something out first. However, let's look at our 2 creatures that, well, we're running more than 2 creatures, but there's Jorah. She's in here. I'm not in the camp of, running one okay card to make another bad card better. But both of these, the Mox and Jorah, are quite possibly all-stars in this particular deck. Because we are building Izzet Super Friends. We will roll through these walkers fairly quickly because the walkers, let's face it, are not the highlight of the deck. Yeah, you get a lot of walkers out and, it unanswered, you're probably going to win. Running 4 Chandras, Bold Pyromancer, Flamecaller, Fire Artisan, and good old-fashioned OG Chandra Nalar. First off, there are a lot better walkers we could be using. I mean, there is the Commander Teferi, who is just outstanding. There's, and I would love to have another Tezzeret. The one that untaps 2 artifacts, so you can untap the Chain Veil and whatever. Ral, Saheeli the Gifted, Jaya, OG T-Balt. That's right. Kasmina ain't nothing to sneeze at either. I mean, helps protect your walkers. We have the Raw Caller of Storms. We have the Saheeli, Sublime Artificer, new Narset, which is pretty sweet. Original Saheeli Rai, new Tibalt, Jace Wielder of Mysteries, Jace Beleren, Ugin the Ineffable. Yes, I am also curious as to that wording as to why they chose Ineffable. I don't know that it's conspiracy theorist or not, but I'm not exactly certain the time differential in between Ugin and Yawgmoth. Is there a tie there? I don't know. And Karn. And then last, but certainly not least, in this particular deck, Sarkhan the Masterless. First off, I think I've opened like 10 of this card. It's insane. But the ability to turn your walkers into dragons, I mean, that in itself can be a win con. Now, obviously, I am running the Chain Veil just because it's a Planeswalker-centric deck. We've got, form of a Planeswalker. So let's look at the hardcore stuff. The just good old-fashioned, we're going to show the big one first, Proliferate. These are all the Proliferate mechanics. And why is that? Why is my microphone light showing up on that card when it hadn't showed up on any other card? Okay. Of course, the Contagion Engine, the Contagion Clasp, Throne of Geth. And then here's the thing. All the rest of these are blue. Viral Drake. Of course, Mana Proliferate doesn't seem that bad. Guildpact Informant. It's a combat damage trigger to proliferate. Flux Channeler. Non-creature spell proliferate. So that's, we've got quite a few of those. Contentious Plan, proliferate and draw a card, is just it's 2 mana for a sorcery. And then Steady Progress is 3 mana for the same card at instant speed. So, while not the same, not entirely different either. Thrumming Bird is a combat damage proliferate. Tezzeret's Gambit, a card draw and proliferate. Fuel for the Cars, a counterspell and proliferate. And then, Inexorable Tides in there. It's a little pricey at 5 mana, but y'all notice most of our creatures or most of our walkers are, not cheap. There are, as I said, there's a ton of better walkers and more in Izzet, but our last creature is Spark Double, because this is amazing. I mean, why wouldn't we be playing with Spark Double? It can copy the creature if we needed to. If we need another whatever. I mean, this literally clones anything in the deck, creature or walker. Now, with all that proliferate, I found a hard time not putting in the Magistrate Scepter, because there's a lot of times where that's just enough right there. Now, keep in mind, the last thing we want to do is remove all 3 counters off of the Scepter. We want to have 4 on there so that we can tap to remove 3 to take the turn, leaving 1 on there to proliferate. Because if we take it off, we got to spend 4 and tap it. So this is another reason why I would like Tezzeret the Seeker is, why not? What do we got here? This is a pile of stuff. Teferi's Time Twist can protect one of your things. That's kind of what it's there for. Factor Fiction is going to draw you some cards. Corrupted Conscience. Now, don't have a whole lot of Infect in here, But as a matter of fact, I think that may be it. That's the only infect card we've got. But it is creature removal. Infect does, as long as you just get one counter on, you can proliferate it. And maybe we'll get lucky and have like a Plinker or something. Or maybe we win the lottery and steal somebody's Hidetsugu. Because we are running the historic, draw card. In Bolus's Clutches, another good, creature removal / creature, if you will. But it's also historic. Jaya's Inferno and Karn's Sundering. Now, Narset's Reversal, I'm going to give a try. I like it for those uncounterable cards. I really do. It's a counter for an uncounterable spell because it doesn't counter. Then, of course, Expansion Explosion is too good to not use. It really is. Fury Storm. Now, this is my understanding, and correct me if I am wrong. When you cast this spell, copy it for each time you've cast your commander from the command zone this game. You may choose new targets for the copies. Of course, you copy target instant or sorcery spell, you may choose new targets. So, we have 2 commanders. If we have both of them in play, that means I cast both of them from the command zone. I have cast my commander from the command zone twice. Is that right? That seems right. Anyway, the Commander Storm cards, I think, go up in utility when there is 2 commanders. So, I don't know. Maybe there's something there, maybe there's not. Let's look at some removal. Now, this is not traditional removal. Of course, a little bit of counter magic and counter spell pierce, negate, just for protection. I'm not. There are decks that want hardcore counter spells in them, but I figure those 3 are enough to just, prevent the alpha, or not really the alpha strike. You know what I'm talking. The game-winning card. Nope, you're not going to win this turn. Sleep, this is almost removal. You're typically going to do it to the one person who would probably win if this didn't happen to him. Ether Gale. 6 non-land permanents. Now, this doesn't say up to 6, so you've got to, choose 6. Inundate, which is non-blue creatures. That's pretty stout. Of course, it's not going to really hurt us. Hibernation. The reason why I've got Hibernation in here is this is Izzet, okay? This is expensive Izzet. This is not... our average CMC, I didn't look at it over when I listed on Architect, but it's not cheap. And we have Planeswalkers. And, not all these Planeswalkers can protect themselves. We don't have a whole lot of creatures, so green is probably our number 1 enemy. Let's face it. So Hibernation is kind of, I didn't want to do, I figure bouncing them all, that's fair-ish. And then, of course, we have Chain Reaction. Why are you fuzzing out on me, Chain Reaction? Evidently, Chain Reaction's so ballin', it's not gonna focus, and we're here at the end. So, anyway, Chain Reaction, good removal spell. We have Terramorphic Expanse, Evolving Wilds. Let's see. Let's just roll through. Swiftwater. Come on now. Swiftwater, Boilerworks, Guildgate, Highland Lake, Caldera Lake. Now we're Gateway Plaza. now we're going to look at some of the newer stuff here. The Intraplanar Beacon. Now this, that first part I could almost do without. I mean, yeah, when you cast a Planeswalker spell, you can gain a life. Sure, it thematically kind of fits the theme of this particular deck. Taps for a colorless, that's fine. But I would give up that first line if it didn't. Well, no, I guess it's got to. Because you're turning 1 into 2. You're turning 1 generic mana and tapping this land into 2 mana of different colors to only cast Planeswalker. So, while not the tap to add a colorless in there is what really actually makes this playable. It doesn't come into play tapped, so I can see it. I'm running it in this deck. There's not a real big opportunity cost here for deck building, and so Forge of Heroes. Why not? Choose target commander that entered the battlefield this turn. So you have to target your commander. It's not each commander. You can't have like a super mana turn where you play both of your commanders and put a counter on both of them. But still. Then we've got Karn's Bastion, of course, the Proliferate land. I don't know. My prediction for Karn's Bastion is that this card, we the EDH people, are going to make this card ridiculously expensive. I haven't looked at the price since this set came out. I really haven't. But I think I pulled a couple, all that I really needed. But in the here and now, rather, I don't know that it's possible for me to have as many as I need, because Karn's Bastion will fit in +1 counter decks, charge decks, minus count. I mean, there's so many options here. How many mono green counter decks have I got, really? Or black? Or oh man. But we are going to just drive the price of this card up, and I don't think we'll see a reprint until some kind of expensive $10 pack, which is neither here nor there. I don't agree with, but it looks like Modern Horizons is, we've got, as of right now, we've got a few spoilers out there, or previews, or what have you. It looks pretty decent from what we've seen. So, sorry, that was my phone. I forgot to turn the volume off, but that's really all I have got for today. I do appreciate y'all watching, and I'm excited to play the Wonder Twins here. And if you don't get the Wonder Twins reference, Google it. You're right here on YouTube anyway, so it's good for a chuckle. Anyway, I do appreciate y'all watching, but right now I think we're going to shuffle and cut.